The story of a generation is written in lines of code, and it promises freedom, speed, and absolute untethered wealth. It is the dream of the digital frontier, a new path to power that bypasses the old world. But what happens when that path is hijacked? When the promise of revolution turns into a sophisticated, invisible betrayal? This is the story of Chirag Tomar. He wasn't a bank robber. He didn't need a vault or a getaway car. He was a prodigy, a young mind with a profound, almost terrifying understanding of how trust works in the modern age. And in just a matter of days, he used that understanding to steal more than $20 million from people who are already rich in hope, if not in fortune. The architect of a lie. For the victims, it began not with a dark, hooded figure or a back alley deal, but with a simple search, the kind you make a dozen times a day. They typed Coinbase login into the white bar, anxious to check their investments, their futures. And there was, right at the top, a website that looked absolutely flawlessly correct. They clicked it. They typed in their usernames and their passwords, and they never saw the money again. Tomar's genius was in its subtlety. He didn't hack Coinbase, he hacked us. He purchased a domain, https://www.google.com/search?Q=coinbasepro.com. A minor, almost imperceptible shift from the official site. Then he manipulated the unseen machinery of the internet, the search engine optimization, to make his perfect digital twin float to the top of the search results, waiting like a spider in a beautifully woven web. The victim would hit enter, and the fake site would flash a message, "Login failed." Frustration, perhaps, but not panic. Not yet. But in that instant, their digital keys were already harvested. The information was already on its way across the world. The final betrayal. But the true genius, the truly heartbreaking part of this deception came next. On the fake site, a phone number was clearly displayed: customer support. The victims, now confused and frustrated, would call it, believing they were seeking help. And on the other end, they weren't speaking to a bot or a recording. They were speaking to one of Tomar's co-conspirators, a calm, professional, human voice. This representative would walk them through a series of steps, sounding helpful, sounding official, until they asked for the final piece of the puzzle, the two-factor authentication code, the last line of defense. The victim, relieved to be solving the problem, would hand over that final secret. In that moment, the human element of trust, the very foundation of any society, was weaponized against them. Tomar and his team didn't just steal money, they stole security. They stole peace of mind. And within minutes of that final code being surrendered, the victim's portfolio, the hopes for a new house, for college tuition, for a comfortable retirement, was being liquidated. The crypto was shuffled through digital layers, washing the trail clean, converted into cash, and sent on its way. The blinding speed of greed. And where did this incredible flood of illicit wealth go? It was immediately consumed by a hunger that only exists in the presence of such effortless, rapid gain. Tomar didn't save it, he spent it with a spectacular, arrogant disregard. Court documents read like the wish list of a fantasy life. Lamborghinis, Porsches, rare five-figure watches like the Audemars Piguet strapped to his wrist. He funded international journeys to glittering, expensive playgrounds, Dubai, Thailand, destinations where the sun always shines on a new fortune. This wasn't quiet wealth, this was a loud, defiant, look-at-me kind of luxury, fueled by the invisible losses of people he had never met. He lived for that speed, the rush of turning digital zeros and ones into the roar of an Italian engine. But that speed became his undoing. The trail that cannot be erased. In the vast, borderless expanse of the internet, there is a fundamental truth. Nothing is truly erased. Every transaction leaves a shadow. Every conversion leaves a mark. Federal investigators, including the Secret Service, followed that shadow. They followed the flow of the crypto, tracing its path from the victims' wallets, through the laundering services, and right into the accounts that funded the Porsches and the resorts. They were not chasing a ghost, they were chasing a paper trail written in code. The journey ended not in a dark alley or a tense standoff, but in the sterile, fluorescent anonymity of an American airport. In December 2023, Chirag Tomar, globe-trotting millionaire, stepped off a plane and was immediately placed under arrest at the Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. The extravagant five-star lifestyle vanished in a moment, replaced by the isolating silence of a holding cell. In the subsequent court proceedings, the details of the conspiracy emerged, leading to his guilty plea of wire fraud conspiracy in May 2024. The penalty for his digital genius, for his act of human betrayal, was severe: 60 months or 5 years in a federal prison. The cars, the watches, the properties, all seized. The final reflection. The story of the prodigy, the genius teen, is the perfect metaphor for the digital age we inhabit. It shows us that vulnerability isn't always found in weak passwords or old software. It is found in trust, in the simple expectation that the person on the other end of the line or the website at the top of the search is who they claim to be. Chirag Tomar was brilliant, yes, but his brilliance was applied to the oldest crime in history: betrayal. He proved that in the new frontier of crypto, the greatest danger isn't the volatility of the market, but the constant lurking threat of the human element. The final bitter truth is this: when the promise of easy wealth blinds us, we become easy prey. And the price of that blindness is paid in 5 years of silence.